Have we seen the end of right to buy as we know it? Now, there's no secret. The government's looking at the right to buy. They've already commissioned the report into right to buy. We're now going to guess about what's actually going to come out in this right to buy review. Some of the things that I think are going to be involved with this, how it's going to impact those people that are looking to purchase their right to buy council homes, how it's going to impact the financing side of things. So I'll catch you on the video. Hello, my name is Payam Azadi and I am a director of Niche Advice. Now, over the last 15-16 years, one of the sectors that I've been specializing in is right to buy mortgages. That's essentially helping people that are council tenants realize the dream of owning their own home. And over the last 15-16 years, I've helped hundreds of people try to realize that dream. So, and as part of my sort of suite of products on my channel, many a times I've done videos on right to buys and how people should get a right to buy mortgage and some of the various scenarios that people have, some of the challenges they have and how we've overcome them. Now, the newest challenge when it comes to right to buy mortgages is the fact that Labour has come in and they've promised that they're going to have a look and potentially overhaul the right to buy mortgage. Now, I watched a video on YouTube, and I will link the video below, of Angela Rayner, the Deputy Prime Minister, who was herself a person who benefited from right to buy many years ago. So she bought her council home, and she's now, Labour has commissioned the report to look at right to buys because they don't think it's fit for purpose right now as it is. So what does that mean? And this is the gist of what I've got from Angela's news sit down. And like I said, I will leave the link below to Sky News. Essentially, right to buy was formed under the Thatcher government, giving people the incentive of buying their own council houses. Now, what's happened over the years is, as the councils have been selling these properties and making a good earning out of it, making good money out of this, essentially they haven't been replenishing this property. So property's been going out of council, and essentially they haven't been replacing them. Put that together with a huge increase in immigration and the need for council houses anyway, and what you've got is a problem whereby there are simply not enough homes, affordable homes, being built. And what happened was the original council right to buy scheme was further changed a little bit and made it even more generous from a discount perspective. Now, what do I think they mean when they say they're going to look at right to buy? Do I think right to buy is going to be abolished? No, I don't think it will do. I don't think they're brave enough to do that, and I don't think they will do that. However, what I do believe is going to be definitely something that they're going to look at is the incentives of, giveaways on the right to buy. So, for example, at the moment you can get various discounts, no matter depending on where you are, location-wise in the country and how much the discount is, but up to around £130,000 in the south here in the London area. So you get that money off. Essentially, people get that money as a discount. So say the property is worth 300, and let's say the discount is £100,000. So you get that £100,000, and generally what we do is we help the clients to say, look, you don't need to put any money down because you've got your discount. So that's 100k we're using as a deposit, which means they can get a really good low mortgage on a low loan to value mortgage, and we get them the additional mortgage amount. So they're using the discount to fund the deposit and purchasing the property. So that all sounds good. However, I believe what they're going to do is tweak that discount, and I think they're going to make it less attractive for people to buy right to buys based on that. Now, why do I say that? Is because it's happened already before. When you look at housing associations, some housing associations, not council tenants, they have another scheme that they can apply to, which is called right to acquire. Now, right to acquire is essentially right to buy, but for housing association tenants. But the discounts within right to acquire are nowhere near as generous. Maybe £15,000, £16,000 off, but that's about it. Not a huge amount. The most I've looked at is probably around about that much that I've done. Certainly not in the hundreds of thousands, okay, or tens and thousands or 50, 60, 70, 100k discounts. Okay, so I think they're going to tweak the discounts. Okay, and that's potentially where they're going to go. I also think they're going to put limitations on the councils. So they're going to say, right, council, if you're going to sell that house, what are you building? How are you going to replace it? To be fair, things that they should have done in the first place. That's not the council tenant's fault. The council has been basically not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And I think that the council tenant is going to end up being punished because of this. But fundamentally, they haven't done it in the right way. And now they're trying to put the stops on. So I think the discount's going to be affected. So, and I think rules around the council. So the councils are going to make it harder for you to apply for right to buy. So eligibility rules may be affected. Affordability rules may be affected. At the moment, there are ways where essentially if mum and dad are too old to go on the mortgage, if the son lives there or the daughter lives there, we can put multiple applications in. They may, essentially realizing the dream as a family, they can buy one. There may be rule changes around that. There could be rule changes in regards to, like I said, eligibility. They're gonna make it less attractive. So eligibility, maybe affordability. Although I don't think affordability is really there, but what they will do is maybe put more restrictions on the property that you're buying. So at the moment, if you get a right to buy, you have 5 years where you essentially can't do much with it. Okay, if you do anything with it, let's say you sell the property within 5 years, there is a stepped process where you have to pay that money back. I think they may adjust that. I think they may make it maybe 10 years. Okay, also you can't. Technically, you can't get a buy-to-let mortgage on a right to buy within that 5-year period, okay? Because they're saying essentially this is a residential mortgage, it's a residential property, you can't let that property out. Now, councils don't necessarily have an issue or rule around renting the property out. It's the mortgage lenders, okay? So right now, the mortgage lenders, if you're in your 5-year period that you've purchased the property, they will not give you a buy-to-let mortgage. You can do it on a residential mortgage, okay? So on a residential mortgage, you can get a residential mortgage, but the way at the moment it's being done is you essentially go back to your residential mortgage and say, look, I've got a 5-year fix with you. It's now, I've been with you guys for 2 years. My circumstances has changed. I need your permission to let the property out. It's called consent to let. And some lenders will allow it, other lenders don't allow it. Some lenders will say yes, but we're going to hike your rate up maybe 1%. Other lenders will do an admin charge. But that's the way that sort of rental flexibility comes in. I think they may do away with that, or essentially that discount period of that 5 years redemption period, I think they might extend that, okay? And I think there will be further restrictions around per people that are buying their property from the council of what they can do with it, essentially, i.e. rent that property out. They may tighten up around that. So those are the things that are going to come down the line, make it less attractive with the discount. I think there will be harsher rules to qualify. I think there will be harsher rules in terms of what they will allow that person to do. For example, within your 5 years, the only reason you can capital raise right now for a council home, so you bought your house last year, and maybe you had a 2-year fix. Next year you want to do an extension if it's a house, or you want to do renovations. At the moment, the only way you're allowed to raise more money on that property is by doing a home renovation loan. Okay, you cannot do debt consolidation, or I want to remortgage because I want to buy a car. I think all of those rules are going to be tightened up. But a lot of those rules are actually self-regulated by the mortgage lenders, not necessarily a top-down approach from the councils. And I think councils are generally quite flexible. I think we're going to see a change with that. So what's the moral of the story? The moral of the story is get your documents in. If you are someone who's been saving up, waiting to buy a council home, this is the time to apply. Make your applications to the council. Get in touch with a broker like Niche Advice, like us, who specialize within this sector, who understand all the challenges. If you're in a deck access block, we understand what that is. If you are in a special type of property housing, we know what that is. If you're with mum and dad and you're looking to buy but not using their income and their age because they're too old, we know how that works. So all of those things, if you're recently self-employed, if you've got adverse credit, if you're buying with multiple people, maybe 4 of you, all of those things are scenarios that we've helped clients over the last 15, 16 years get their property. But I would say get it in. I don't know. I think they will put some sort of a rule in to say from this date onwards, this is the new rule. So you're better off trying to make the applications, get your right to buy in there. Councils are notoriously going to be slow. And this is the key. You're dealing with a council. They're going to be slow. And really what you want to do is get your paperwork in there and then let them decide on the rules. So hopefully they're not going to go retrospectively behind and go, right, in the last year. I think they will probably put a date in from the future to say from this date onwards, this is the new rules and this is what's going to apply. So get your documentation into council. By all means, speak to the council. And if you need some advice around the finance side of things, get in touch with us and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. All the best.
The content of this video does not constitute giving advice. It's purely for information purposes. All cases should be discussed with a professional mortgage broker. As a mortgage is secured against your home or property, it could be repossessed if you do not keep up mortgage payments. Niche advice is authorized and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority.